try!
Well, a big week of Super Rugby action and Aussie Sevens as well, but we're going to start back on Friday night, Stephen Hoiles. Melbourne Rebels against the Hurricanes. The Rebels got beaten, but AAMI Park turf looked like the biggest loser on the night. We've got a test match coming up there in June. How can you play on that?
Yeah, it's a concern, and I think having only relatively new sport in Melbourne, they're probably starting to see just how much a scrum, what type of damage a scrum can do to turf. So the Rebels took advantage of it. It was like the beach flags at the Australian titles there for a while there. Julian Sevilla couldn't turn around quick enough, and the Rebels jumped on that through Dom Shipley for a try. But yeah, not a good enough playing surface for that type of quality and that amount of money on the field.
Well, Dom Shipley did go down with a knee injury. I mean, some could suggest that the turf might have had an influence in that. We go to Saturday night, and Bob Dwyer has reacted to the Waratahs' loss to the Brumbies, saying that Michael Hooper is the worst seven in Australia right now. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, look, Bob's entitled to his opinion. He's done wonderful things as a coach in Australian rugby, but Michael Hooper isn't a typical number seven. That's one of the issues, and it was great to see Steve Moore back him up. Yeah, if you're talking about numbers of stealing footballs and disruption at breakdown, we know that isn't the strongest part of Michael Hooper's game, but there's no better number seven in Australian rugby when it comes to running in the back line and keeping the play alive. He's the fastest number seven we've got. I certainly disagree with those comments. There's a place in every test match for Super Rugby side for Michael Hooper, no doubt.
There was another issue that came up on the night, which I know is a bugbear for you, and that's the TMO. There was a bit of to-in and fro-in and conversation before Wycliffe Palu got yellow carded. What do you think of this? What do you make of this conversation that's happening? Who is in charge at the moment?
Well, good question, very good question, and I don't have an answer for you, unfortunately. That's my issue. One, they take far too long to look at things, and I like what League's done. They understand the game needs to flow, because that's the whole idea of rugby, to find fatigue and people being exhausted, and there's big guys get targeted from small guys when that happens, and the game opens up, and that's what we need to see. And then your conversation between the TMO and the ref, it's just, we don't need to hear that. It just shows you that there's actually no one in charge. Oh, I agree. Do you agree? Yes, I agree 100%. It's just like a gentleman's club. Just turn off the mic so we don't hear it and minimise the views.
Got to go to the last one, the Reds against the Bulls over in Pretoria. One outstanding highlight. He looked like he just shrugged it off after he did it, but Liam Gill from 40 metres out, he probably could have kicked it from 60. What do you make of that for an open side flanker?
It was still going up as it went over, as that happens in the Highveld, but I just love the smugness of Gill. He just jogged off the halfway as if he had been there, done that. You know what? It was also a better performance from the Reds than what we thought. Although they lost, they still fought pretty well. Summer Crevi again, really strong. So some of their big name players are just starting to play some good footy in the footy that we expected them.
Well, make sure you join in all the conversation leading into a big week 9 of Astron Life Super Rugby. Follow us all on Rugby.com.au.